Hi everyone. I just want to introduce you to the Slate module in Chisimba. And the purpose of this is not so much to show you the Slate module as it is to give you a sense of some of the power of the way in which Chisimba works. Now, the Slate module was created, it was actually generated using the module generator, and some of the functionality was deleted, and what we were left with was basically a blank page onto which you can add the functionality and content that you want to add to create an interface for your users. Now, what we're looking at here is the Itlelo workshop site that we set up for the Chisimba training workshop that's going to happen in Abuja next week in Nigeria. And this site, the default page that you come to when you come to the site is actually running the blank slate, or the clean slate as the module is called, and blocks of content and functionality have been added to it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to log in quickly to the site, and what you can see is that on each side there's two columns. They're narrow columns, and in the middle is a wide column. So these are narrow blocks and these are wide blocks, or text blocks and wide blocks. And what you see up here on the right hand side is a little button that says turn editing on, and if you click that button, what happens is every block on the page becomes editable. You can delete it by clicking the trash bin, or you can move it up above the other one or down below it by clicking the up or down arrow. You can add new blocks to the page. For example, maybe I want to add a My Files block. I don't have any files. I just click on Add Block, and then that Files block is on the page that I'm editing at the moment. I'll delete it because I don't want a My Files block on the pre-login page, because it will be silly, because nobody will have any files and they won't see anything. What you also see up here is a little thin narrow block, which is actually the login block that you see before you log in. Now, one of the things about the Clean Slate is that it can have an infinite number of pages. Well, not an infinite number, but effectively an infinite number. And you can create new pages simply by typing them in as URLs in the screen. So the module is Slate, and what we're going to do is we're going to say and page equals 1. Oops, not -1, equals 1. And what that will do is that will give us a completely blank page. Okay, it would have if I hadn't created a page equals 1 before and not deleted it. So let's rather create a page equals 2 so you can get a sense of a completely blank page. Okay, so there we have a completely blank page. It's a clean slate onto which you can write your interface using Chisimba's block functionality. So we click turn editing on, and again, if you've got a 3-column layout, you don't have to have a 3-column layout, but assuming you do, you have a bunch of narrow blocks that you can select from, and they'll be the same on the left and right, and then you'll have wide blocks that you can select from. For example, if we want to show stories, and there's nothing here in stories at the moment except the default stories that come when you set up the site, we just click add block, turn editing off, and now we have a page. Well, there's nothing in the narrow columns, but we have a page with the stories functionality in the middle column, and you can see that as an administrator I can edit the stories. Now the Clean Slate is a module that works for the site as a whole, so it's only really open to site administrators to be able to access it. You wouldn't as ordinary users of a system be creating slates. We are working on another module called My Slate, which will enable individual users to actually create and manage their own interface. But effectively you can do that now by going to another module called My Workspace, which effectively behaves very similar to the slate, but it's yours and only you can see it because it's your personal workspace. Okay, now how do you get these blocks? Well, some of the blocks are blocks that are provided by other modules, like login, for example, and you can see the name of the block and the module that provides it. So here you can see there's my groups, which is provided by the context module. You can see skin, which is provided by the skin module and file manager, and then you see a whole lot of blocks that are text blocks. And you can see that it starts from text 4, so text 1, 2, and 3 have content, and any of them that just say text won't have content. So you have 60 text blocks that you can use. You also have 60 blocks that you can use in the middle. Now let's make a use of this text block module to do something interesting. Okay, so what we're going to do, we've just created page equals 2, right? So let's go to side blocks, and you can see some side blocks that I've already created here. There's the home one that you saw just before we logged in, or you see on the Slate module. This is the block that gives you the information about Kenga Solutions, and then there's a sort of block pointing you to Chisimba.com. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to add another block, and what we actually do, create a block that has a link to the pages that we've added to our slate. At the moment you have to do this manually. Maybe eventually we will add some functionality to do this, but let's call this block our slates, and let's put some contents in there. So we're going to make links to slates, right? So we'll have a unordered list, and we'll have a list item, and that list item is going to have an anchor tag ahref equals, and the path to the page that we just created. So it's module equals slate and page equals 1, or page equals 1. Let's do page equals 1 first, since it's already there from a previous attempt to record this video that failed because I forgot to save it. And let's call it a demo slate page, and close the anchor tag and close the li, and then let's create another one, li ahref equals and we'll use page 2, and we'll say a demo slate page 2, close the anchor tag and close the URL, otherwise all hell will break loose, and save it. Now you can see we have a block there called our slates with a link to a demo slate page and a demo slate page 2. Now let's go back to the Clean Slate, the default page, and let's add this block to the default page, which means that anybody who's not logged in, who sees this as the front page of the site, will see these links. So here's our slates block that we just created, and you can see that now text 4 is used up, and there's the block. So we add the block and we turn editing off, and there you can see that we have links to the other pages that we've created. Now these don't exist anywhere. What happens is the slate stores a hash of the URL and takes a hash of the URL when you visit go back to the page. So this could say module equals slate and page equals dog and page equals cat. It doesn't have to be page 1 and 2, but it's useful sometimes if you number the pages, easier to find them. Now let's do something interesting here. Let's go to YouTube, and let's create a page with a video. Let's create a block with a video in it. So here we have a module. Oh, let's not use that one. Let's use a fun one, a really fun one. Here's one I made of thunderclouds over Johannesburg. So let's insert this as a block, shall we? So to do that, we go and we copy the URL for the video, ignoring all the junk after the video's ID. Close that, we don't need it anymore. Go back to text block. Let's create a wide block. And you can see there's a wide block with a bunch of stuff about the Chisimba workshop that we're having. That's what appears on the front page before you log in. Let's add another block here. Let's call it clouds. And let's go here and type in YouTube in square brackets. Paste the URL in and type square bracket / YouTube. You can guess what that's going to do, right? So here's the YouTube video inside of a block, a wide block. Now we can go back to Clean Slate. Did I click that link? No, I didn't. Let's go back to Clean Slate and let us go to a demo slate page, and let's turn editing on, and let's remove the switchboard links. We could leave them and add it lower down, and then let's add, what did we call it, clouds. So there you can see clouds, and there's the block. Now we can close that, turn editing off, and guess what, we can log out. And where did we add it? It was the first one, demo slate page. So we can, without being logged in, go to that page, and there you can see the video which we added to our block. Very simple, very straightforward, an easy way to get sort of basic interface kinds of content up. And of course the modules that are within Chisimba provide a lot of these blocks and a lot of this functionality. And the turn editing on functionality, which we call the dynamic template, is available throughout a lot of the Chisimba modules, and you will find similar functionality scattered around throughout different areas of the Chisimba system. And that's it. That's an introduction to the Clean Slate and the use of blocks, dynamic templates with turn editing on in Chisimba, the Chisimba framework made in Africa by a collaboration of, I guess at its peak, about 16 African universities. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.